got my hair cut, sitting here looking like new money. Get from behind me now so I can back up. All these trucks and things. What's up, people? He done got a haircut, looking like new money. Hey, girl, hey. Hey, girl, hey. If you ordered books, I just shipped them. You'll have them first thing Monday morning. Oh, let me put my seatbelt on. We don't need no problems. Hey, girl, hey, come on in, come on in. I know I'm a little early, but I don't know if I'm able to get on tonight at 9 o'clock. But see, the beauty of turning on your notifications is you'll know when I'm on, whether I'm on at 9 o'clock or not, right? Hey, girl, hey. Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressors, and dreamers. I am Craig, the writer Stewart, and this is the mobile version of So Much to Say. These are my thoughts and my voice on black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. So listen, just came from the barber, just picked up my PUNANY. I picked up a PUNANY. I told you guys before what a PUNANY is. A PUNANY is a mixed kale wrap. It's part spicy kale, part mild kale, and it's sweet coconut corn. There's a little avocado. There's a little tomato. What's up, Wisdom? Wisdom, I need to figure out Jacksonville. For those of you who don't know, my signing in Los Angeles is going to be February 10th. What's up, Wayne McCormick, Mike Young, Shakika, who else in here? Reds, what's up? Hey, girl, hey. Darius, Samantha, hey, girl, hey. Who else I missed? Darren, you in there? The signing in, where are you going? Don't be trying to overtake me. The signing in Los Angeles, hey, Kimberly Michelle. The signing in Los Angeles is going to be February 10th, okay? I'll have the details soon, but if you register on my website, CraigTheWriterStewart.com, I'll have all of the details there. I always post where I'm going to be. I need to figure out this date, though, for Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville, because it's still warm down there. I need to come down to Jacksonville. I'm going to do Houston in April. Don't have a date yet. Hey, girl, hey. What's up, Jermisha and Ewing? Hey, boy, hey. What's up, Spies? Is it Spies? Hey, girl, hey. And I need to figure out DC as well. Those are the first ones that I need to pay attention to right away to knock those out. Hey, boy, hey. So listen, you know those Don't Get Gathered shirts that you guys said you wanted and you didn't end up ordering? Well, I'm going to go ahead and cancel that order. So those of you that ordered Don't Get Gathered shirts, you will be refunded your money. You'll get refunded. Yeah, I got that cut looking first day of school clean, huh? He cleans up well. I got back to my oil pulling. What's up, Tremaine? Hey, girl, hey. So if you ordered a Don't Get Gathered t-shirt, hoodie, v-neck, long sleeve t-shirt, I am going to refund your money. I'm going to cancel the order because we did not get enough orders. How many orders did we need, did you ask? Right now, I don't remember, but I know we need like 30 more. So we would need 30 more pieces, not orders, but like, you know, some of you ordered two and 3 pieces, but we would need 30 more pieces in order for the order to process, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel the Don't Get Gathered shirts, and that'll just be something that we say in here, right? I can't wait to get into this house to eat this this kale wrap. I really can't. I'm supposed to step out tonight. Hey, girl, hey. Hey, girl, hey. What's up, Stacy? Stacy, you'll have your books on Monday. Thank you for ordering 2 more of the books of quotes. Darren, if you wanted the podcast hoodie, you'd have ordered it. And then that order is on its way in the mail to me. I'm about to be shipping those out to those of you that ordered. I guess I'll do another round of So Much to Say podcast shirts, but I don't know when I'm going to do that just yet. So I may be stepping out tonight at 9 o'clock. You know, my friends are here from out of town. They were at my house last night cutting up. So I ended up not going to meet them last night, but you guys know that because DT and I sat on the couch. Going out to the clubs and the bars, that's just not really my thing. And it's King Weekend, so the gays have swarmed. Swarmed Atlanta, have taken Atlanta by storm. The gays are here by planes, trains, and automobiles. Okay, I think a few of them dropping in on the city now by parachute. The gays come in town when it's Gay Pride Weekend. Well, this ain't really Gay Pride Weekend, but whenever there's an extended weekend, when the gays are off on Monday, they come to town. So the gays are here by influx in Atlanta. Okay? No, DT is not going. We don't really go out to clubs. The only reason I'm going out is because I have friends here from out of town, and I'm just being diplomatic and going out, right? Because I don't really do that. Now, if I go to other people's city and I'm visiting, I may go out, just to kind of see the city and, well, not see the city, but just, whatever. But, so we're supposed to go out tonight. So I told them I will go. So I figured I would, go out with them for a little while. So they called me today. My friends that were over last night, they called me today and was like, yeah, after you sold us those books at your house, you ended up stiffing us and didn't come out to the club. And I said, yeah, well, I really didn't have intentions of coming. So since I didn't go last night, I think I'm going to meet them and hang out with them tonight. For a little bit, not long. You know what I'm saying? Because, I like sitting at home. And, it smells good in here. They must have cleaned and vacuumed in the hallway today. But, last night I was recording another chapter for the second book. The audio book is coming along really nicely. So I was up till like 3 this morning recording and editing, for this audio book that I'm about to put out. Like, I really want to get that done. So I got to get that done, get that out. So DT and I went out last night and got some Chinese food. Now, I got shrimp lo mein. So DT and I went out last night, got us some Chinese food, and I came up on a new idea. Thank you, Shakika. So some of you have been, remember I said the other day, the Chinese food that we went to it's amazing. It's a place that we used to go to all of the time. But now that I don't eat the meat, I don't really go there a lot because I used to get these lemon pepper wings. Oh, my God. So, of course, DT got the wings, and he sat there and ate them in front of me. But, that's fine. But I have this new idea. So remember how I was telling you guys that a lot of you have been emailing me or inboxing me, asking me how to publish your book. Well, what I decided to do was, after I record this audio version, my lips look dry. Hold on. Hey, girl. Excuse me. Hey, girl, hey. But ain't that cut precision? I got to go ahead and put my juice in it so I can lay it down. So after I record this audio book, what I'm going to do, hey, girl, hey, I'm going to record, I don't know if I should call it a podcast because it's not going to be free. Yes, Chris, I got to get these lips together. You never know when somebody want a little sugar. You never know when somebody want a little sugar. I don't know if I'm going to call it a podcast, but I'm going to make it available. I'm going to record my process, start to finish, writing the book, my first book, self-editing. I'm just going to tell my entire story of like how I did it, how I found my editor, how I found the person who typeset the book, the cover design, copywriting the manuscript, every single thing, all the way up until when I published it. I am going to record that. It'll probably be like a 45-minute long type thing or hour long type thing, but I'm going to do it in sections. So the first section will be I might call it like the writing section or the writing process or whatever. And it's just going to be an audio thing. But you're going to pay like probably $12.99 for it. I'm going to make it available on like iTunes. So that way I'm not charging you $125 for a consultation fee, right? So if you have questions on how to publish your book, when you email me going forward, I'm going to say, yes, I tell you exactly how I do it. Here's the iTunes link. You can purchase it. It's $12.99 or whatever I'm going to make it. And just go ahead and download it. And I will tell you start to finish what I did, how I did it. Step by step. So then you can use that as a guide to publish your own book. Okay? So that's my next project. But I need to finish recording this audio book. I left the thing in the car. I left the little holder in the car. I can't stand here and hold this phone because I'm about to eat this food. And I'm about to kill it because I'm ravenous. There's your word for the day. Ravenous. You just kind of substitute that with the word hungry. But it's really extreme hunger, right? Look at LaShayla talking about a cookbook. I don't really know that many great vegan recipes to be trying to do no cookbook. You won't have me put out no cookbook and be like, who the fuck he think he is? This bullshit ass recipe. So I don't know if I'm going to do that. But I will do. My lips are shining and glossing like I done ate on a pork chop. But yeah, so it was all nice and 60 degrees today. Now it's all windy and cold and rainy. I don't know what kind of bipolar ass weather this is. Now, my lips do not look like I'm about to suck nobody's dick, okay? It might look like I'm about to eat somebody's booty, but it don't look like I'm about to suck nobody's dick. It's so funny because I just got off It's so funny because I just got off the phone with Madison, T.S. Madison. And she was trying to insinuate that even though I don't eat meat, she said, you will suck on a piece. And I was like, well, no. That ain't really my go-to. Now, if you need me to do that and I fucks with you like that, then maybe. But what you ain't gonna have to ask me to do is eat that booty. Because I'll do that at my own volition. There's a word for you, volition. V-O-L-I-T-I-O-N. I'll do that at my own free will, volition. Woo! When I say the kid is tired, not tired, but I'm ready to eat. You know how you hungry and you start to shake and shit because you start getting the shakes because you're so hungry? I'm going to put y'all right here so I can wash my hands real quick. And you know you're supposed to wash your hands for like 25 seconds. Let me put my hood on because I ain't really creamed my hair yet. I haven't creamed my hair yet. I haven't laid it down yet. But yeah, so went and got my hair cut. I'm going to the gun range on Sunday. I'm really looking forward to the gun range for a friend's birthday. If you want to order some books, you're welcome to do so. I have 3. If you're new here, look me up. Or going over there to CraigTheWriterStewart.com. Oh, let me get my wrap. Hey girl, hey. Hey girl, hey, Kelly. Then she talking about hey girl, Kelly. Kelly Gibson. It's hey girl, hey. Y'all can be coming in here with these abbreviated greetings. It's hey girl, hey. And then Belinda, y'all know Belinda Ingram? It's so funny that I recognize some of y'all names and I know y'all names by heart. But Linda Ingram, she comes in and she just put HGH. She don't even say, hey, girl, hey. She put HGH. Girl, what is that acronym? HGH. Woo. Let me sit down. My haircut is $25, and if I make an appointment, it's $35. They trying it now with these haircut prices. What's up, Chantel? Is it Chantel? Do you say it's Chantel? Whose birthday is it? Happy birthday. Does somebody want to order her a book or books? This is a Gatorade, because I know somebody about to ask. Let me get my PUNANY out. Can y'all see that? I'm sitting down, William Howard. So listen, I just got put onto this sauce that they have. It's like fake bacon bits. Happy birthday, Ramona. Who wanted to send Ramona some books for her birthday? It's like a fake bacon bits. When I tell you this shit is off the chain. William Howard, when you come to Atlanta, if you don't act funny when you get here, I'm going to take you over to this little place. Because, you know, he has a tendency to act funny. Yeah, I said it. And I said it for the people to hear me. Ramona, I say happy birthday too now. She talking about thank you, Shakika. Oh, Ramona, why don't you treat yourself to the books for your birthday? Why don't you treat yourself to the books? My Cash App ID is... Ooh, this thing is love. This is just a thing of loveliness. Yeah, you're here. Wait, you're in Atlanta? William, you're in Atlanta? For real? Oh, Leela. William, I'll get to you in a second. I have a customer here that's trying to talk to me. Leela, up there in New Jersey. Oh, my God. Listen, my first book, it's called Words Never Spoken. I don't have one right here by me. Hold on, listen. I'm going to take a second. Hold on. Let me go and get it. Leela, over there in New Jersey. My first book, Words Never Spoken, is available right now in Audible. I'm recording the second book now as we speak. This will be, it's called One Thing for Certain, Two Things for Sure. This one will be available probably by the end of this month, January. This is my third book. It's called So Much to Say, a Book of Quotes. Now, this one is not available as an Audible book yet because I haven't recorded it yet. But it is available in all of the e-readers, that kind of thing. I ship signed copies as well. If you're familiar with the Cash App, you just send the money through the Cash App, and then I'll sign them and ship them to you. I just literally left from shipping books to people who ordered books. Now, William Howard, you're here in Atlanta and didn't say anything? That's what I'm talking about. See, I'm sitting here talking about I'm going to take you to this little place, and you here in the city ain't even said you were here. That's the kind of foolishness I'm talking about. Now, I went over to my black-owned business. Leela, I'm here Monday through Friday on Facebook Live at 9 p.m. Now, today I'm a little early because I got some friends in town. And the gays are here in Atlanta for Martin Luther King weekend. You would swear they were down here to walk with the Freedom Riders, but they down here just to be gay because it's an extended weekend. So I got some friends that are here in town, so I may go hang out with them this evening, so I figured I'd come on here earlier. Look at William. He's still explaining. But anyway, I went to this black-owned place. Hey, girl. Hey, what's up, Doris? Wait. Who said they were ordering books today? Doris, did you say you were ordering books today? Where is Shakika? Shakika, you got the list? Because there was a list of people that said they were ordering books today. Today is Friday. Friday is payday. Then there were some people in here said they were paying next Wednesday. I think Lisa, is her name Lisa? What's her name? Lisa? somebody said they were getting books on Wednesday, so she has a few more days. I think her name was Lisa. I know she's a smoker. She says she's a smoker. She's trying to come off her cigarettes. Where are my people that came off the cigarettes? Where are my people that came up off the cigarettes? This sauce is not to be played with on here. Do you hear me? Y'all say my grave? I didn't say my grace. Hold on. Oh, look at Doris. Look at Doris. She's talking about, oh, next Friday. Nah, girl, you said next Friday. Shakika, put Doris on the list for next Friday, please. Leela says she's going to be here in February. Depending on when you're here, I may not be here. I'm doing a signing in LA, February 10th. But I'll be out there for about a week. My major in college was mass media arts. Darren wasn't really paying attention because I write about all of that in the first book. Darren, I'm going to need you to go back to the first book here. This thing is serious. Lisa Renee, that's who I was talking about, Lisa. Lisa said she was getting her books next Wednesday. And she said she was having a difficult time coming off them cigarettes. Where are my people that came off the cigarettes and they doing all right? Okay, Sherry, Shakika put Sherry down for next Friday as well. So Lisa is next Friday to get the books. Lisa's next Wednesday. Sherry is next Friday. Who else was that said next Friday? Somebody just said that right here a moment ago. Oh, Doris. Oh, sorry. Thank you, Hope. Amen. Oh, and what's the lady's name that just asked me about the Audible books? Leela. Leela, when we come in here, we say, hey, girl, hey. Don't even worry about the gays that act like they too macho to say, hey, girl, hey. Just ignore them and say, hey, girl, hey. We just going to say, hey, girl, hey. Hey, girl, hey. Oh, Shakika, Kelly Gibson is next Friday. Kelly Gibson is next Friday. They must get paid on the off week. Make sure we put them down so we know when their pay schedule is. So when we sell stuff, we'll know which weeks to, go ahead and put it out here. This right here is amazing. It's called, good, Lisa, you cut back on your smoking. I'm proud of you. Keep it up. This is called a PUNANY. You remember in Friday, the movie Friday, when Janet Jackson said, you want to taste my PUNANY? That wasn't what she was talking about, because PUNANY means pussy, but in the Urban Dictionary. But this is a spicy kale wrap, so it's spicy kale, but also mild kale, sweet coconut corn, red onions, tomatoes, avocado. It's just loveliness wrapped up in it. And it's like these fake bacon bits. When I tell you this shit is everything, this fake bacon bits. And they're like smoked. It's from a black-owned place in Atlanta called Tassili's. I always call in my order before I go, because they're slow. Thank you, Leela. They're really slow, so I call my order in before I go. And so when I called, I said, hi, can I place an order, please? The lady says, yes, King, how can I help you? They call everybody king and queens. So they call the women queens, and they call the men kings. So when I got there, And I walked up to the line. She said, yes, King, how can I help you? I'm like, y'all better go ahead and affirm these black people coming in here. Yes, King. And then this lady came up to the register and was like, do you guys have any more kale chips? They sell these kale chips, not potato chips. They sell kale chips. And she said, they make them in the place. She said, do you guys have any more kale chips? Look at LaShayla trying to see what's in the wrap. So the lady was like, Queen, yeah, he went in the back to get you some more kale chips. Hey, Queen. But let me tell you something. When you eat a wrap like this, you know how you got something wrapped like this? You're supposed to just roll the plastic down. You're not supposed to take it all off, because then you got shit everywhere. Leela, you may want to put earphones on when you come on my lives, though, because I have a filthy mouth. It's real greasy, and at times it's quite delicious. My mouth is quite delicious. So be careful if you have children and senior citizens in the vicinity, okay? I've warned you. She's gonna see some turkey on her sandwich. It's really good. It's really good. Hey girl, hey, what's up, Tammy? Tammy, I was saying to them earlier, I'm gonna cancel the Don't Get Gathered shirts because we still have not reached the threshold. We need like 30 more items to be ordered before they would process. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cancel that order. So those of you that purchase them, you'll get a refund. William Howard. I really wish y'all could taste this. Leela, if you come to Atlanta in February, you need to go to Tassili's and try this. It's really tasty. Leela, when you come in here, Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock, make sure you get here early. Shakika, Tammy is ordering the first book next week. Can we get a day of the week, please? Is that going to be Wednesday? Is that Friday? But yeah, Leela, it's called Tassili's. It's TASSILLI''S. That's the woman's name. It's a black woman. Shakika, put Tammy down for Friday. That's about 4 people on Friday. But this is really good. I don't know those people. I don't get no money for saying none of this. It's just a place that I like. They black owned. I try to support them as often as I can, even though it's a challenge at times because they're so damn slow. So like I said, call in the orders. Call in your orders so you don't have to stand in the line. You just go in and pick your food up. Hey, Teresa Garland up there in Brooklyn, New York. I went and purchased me a Mega Million yesterday. Let me tell y'all something. I was thinking yesterday, if I hit that Mega Million, I would be no good. I would just be, listen, I don't know what I would do with myself. I know the first thing I do is buy up some property. Really, Tanisha? Darren, thank you so much. You liked the podcast on Monday? I was going to repost. I did repost the one from Monday again today, just to kind of remind people who didn't listen to it already. But I'm trying to get into the habit of remembering to like repost like previous episodes, because I think some people think that once they miss it, because my podcast drops on legally. That's another thing. I host a free podcast. It's free. It's called So Much to Say. It's in iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play. My podcast drops a new show every Monday morning at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. And I think sometimes people think they have to be listening right at 10 o'clock on Mondays. And you don't. They archive. You can go back and listen to the very first one. The very first one was May 1st. But I'm going to start reposting like old episodes so that you guys can, go back and listen to them. Thank you so much, though, Tanisha Duncan Truss. I appreciate you ordering the book. I appreciate you listening to the podcast. Thank you all for sharing the podcast with your friends, your coworkers. I know Will Curry, he emails me. He shares it with his coworkers. They listen to them in the office. So I really appreciate that. You're right, Carolyn. Maybe I'll read a little something out of the book. Did you want me to do that now, Carolyn? Is that what you're saying? I got food way over here. Don't think I'm not going to eat it because y'all watching. Whatever. I done paid for this. And I want every bit. Hey, girl, hey. Here she go. We can't stay Trina late today because I'm early. But thank you guys for listening to the podcast. It really, really means a lot. I'm actually going to do a podcast. Yeah, Kimberly, we're gonna be using a different camera on Monday. That's the plan. So everything should look the proper way. Sunday, or this weekend, I'm gonna tape an episode with Madison's mom, T.S. Madison's mom. Because I did a podcast with T.S. Madison talking about what it meant to be a trans woman and that kind of thing. But I want to do one with her mom because her mom didn't take it very well. When she first learned that Madison was trans, she did not take it well. She told me this one day we were sitting over there. So I said, would you be willing to tell that story on my podcast? She told me about the first time she saw her as a woman. Child, they were at the grocery store. She happened to see her across the parking lot. But anyway, so I'm going to tape that one this weekend. I'm going to go over there on Sunday because we got some stuff to do to get ready for Monday, the Queen's Court. One of those things is to use this new camera, Kimberly. So the Queen's Court logo should look the right way this time because we're using a different device. So that's the plan. The podcast for Monday, I'm believing I'm going to put the one that I just did about bipolar disorder because it's such an important conversation. You ever date somebody and it was just kind of like you really couldn't put your finger on what was wrong? Chances are they could have been bipolar. And I'm no shade, but I mean, I'm being serious. But plenty of shade. They could have been bipolar. You know what I'm saying? I got a family member. I swear I think she might be borderline schizophrenic. Because when I tell you, I'm dropping shit. I have a relative. I think she borderline schizophrenic. When I said, she said one day, and I know y'all gonna laugh. She lives in an apartment. And for whatever reason, she thinks people come into her apartment when she's not there. Girl, how are people coming in your apartment when you're not there? She thinks that people coming in and move her underwear. Girl, who comes in there to move your panties? So she may misplace a pair of her panties or whatever, and she thinks somebody came in and took her panties. This is the gotcha. One day she said, you know how you order a whole pizza and it comes in a box? She didn't say somebody came into her apartment, swapped out microwaves, because she knows the whole pizza should have been able to fit in the... I was able to put the whole pizza box in the microwave, and now it won't fit. Girl, you think somebody came in and pulled your entire microwave out? She's something. I told my cousin, her daughter, I said, girl, you need to take her somewhere and get her some medication. Well, we told her. We told her that she need to... I said, girl, listen, she might need... Listen, who you think coming in your house to change your microwave? Who you think coming in there to do all of that? In here is sweet coconut corn. Listen, if you come to Atlanta, you got to go to this place. It's called Tassili's. Even if you eat meat, I'm telling you, you're going to enjoy this. No, I think she's schizophrenic. I think I do. I think she is. It's spicy kale, mild kale. I'm telling you now, if you can't really handle really spicy food, then you want to have them mix it. You want to have them mix the kale, because that spicy kale, listen, it'll have your nose and shit running. You'll be sweating and shit. Like, you need to go ahead and let them mix it up. So this is called a PUNANY. It has spicy kale, mild kale, avocado, tomato, sweet coconut corn, couscous. I forgot to say that the last time. And it's wrapped up. And then I got these fake bacon bits. What Fatima saying? Hi, Craig. I enjoyed my visit with you and your guests. Listen, I'm loving the book. Thank you, Fatima. I appreciate that. I really do. I got a message today from Althea. I can't remember what city she's in, though. She was saying today that she's already on the second book. I literally just sent her the books. I think I sent them to her on Monday or Tuesday. She almost done the second book. She already went through the first book. The first book got 337 pages, I think. Yeah, 337 pages. And so she's already through there. And so she sent me this long email. And it looks like, from her picture, I believe I think it's a white woman. But I looked through her pictures, and she has children as well. It looks like they're biracial. And she said to me, listen, I totally relate to this book. So it's so important, especially those of you who are writing and telling your story. I'm going to go back and read your comments. And I say this because, and I've said this before, when I sat down, Adrian, wait a minute, I'm gonna come back to my story. Adrian, you said you wanted to purchase my first book. I have some right over here. Are you familiar with the Cash App, Adrian? My Cash App ID is The Writer. Just send $20 over here to The Writer. There's a picture of me. That includes your shipping, and I will send it out to you. Adrian, if you don't know how to use your Cash App, inbox me your email address. Just inbox me your email address, and I will ship it to you. I will send you the Cash App request. But anyway, so this lady, Althea, was saying, I can so relate to your story. And she went into all of the reasons why. I say all of this to say, when I sat down to write this book, it was my intention. Carolyn, did you tell me I should read something tonight? What was your answer to that? When I sat down to write this first book, it was my intention to speak to the hearts and minds of Black gay men. Specifically because I don't feel like there's a voice for Black gay men. Like, who really cries for little Black gay boys? Like, who's really rooting for us? Who's really championing gay boys, Black gay boys? And so I wanted to tell a story, and it was my intention to tell a story that opened up my entire life with hopes that these black gay boys or men that read these books would be able to circumnavigate some of the pitfalls that I made. I mean, because I was writing high checks. I was fooling with counterfeit money. Oh, he was something. So, but I believe that when your story is steeped in truth, it doesn't matter that my intention was to speak to the hearts and minds of black gay men. Because the story was steeped in truth, it transcends that community. And so you have white women reading the book that relate to the story. You have black women reading the book. You have white gay men. You have Hispanic gay men. You have trans people reading the books thinking like, oh my God, this is my story. So even though it was my intention to speak to black gay men, when you do the work that God calls you to do, your reach is limitless. Yes, I autograph the books and I ship them to you. Valerie said, yeah, my daughter always says something. Oh, she back up here on the conversation about the bipolar stuff. Deanna, I shipped your book. You should have it today. Deanna, you should have your book today. No, Shakika, I didn't see it. Okay, Adrian, you do have the Cash App. Okay, yeah, just send me $20 to the writer. But then inbox me your shipping address so I'll know where to send it. You got to remember to inbox me your shipping address so I'll know where to send it. Hey, girl, hey, Ty, come on in and sit down. We still got a few seats down here because I'm early. Where is Carolyn? Oh, Carolyn, you said I should read. I was mass media arts. I was mass media arts major in college. I was a journalism major. Initially, I thought that I wanted to do the news. I thought I wanted to be on the news and say, good afternoon, this is Eyewitness, whatever. But I realized that that wasn't what I wanted to do. I realized in my sophomore year that wasn't the work that I wanted to do. I realized that I wanted to do more of a creative writing. I didn't want like a news director to tell me, okay, Craig, you're going to cover a fire today. Tomorrow we're doing the election. The day after that, we're doing a murder. No, I want to write what I want to write. I didn't want somebody to curate what I wrote. So I decided that in my sophomore year when I started taking my major courses, that wasn't what I wanted to do. I didn't love it enough to go move to some little small town to start up, and then make my way up to a major market to do the news. I'm laughing at Fatima. She says she thinks the Tooth Fairy drops the books off. Valerie, that is one of my favorite stories about Calvin. I'm serious. Like, I told that story on the podcast that I did with my parents. My coming out podcast where I talked to them about how they felt about me telling them that I was gay. Because I think oftentimes as gay people, we only think about how we feel when we tell people that we're gay. We only think about our perspective. We don't really think about how fearful it is or how anxious we are or what are people going to think of us. Like, we don't really think about how it's going to impact them. How do they feel? You know what I mean? So I wanted that perspective. So that was why I did that particular podcast. But in that particular podcast, okay, Adrian, I'll look out for it. Inbox me your address. But in that particular podcast, I told the story about how my friend Calvin that was here last night had this doll. And his father bought him the doll because he and his sister used to fight over this doll. And I think that that's almost a revolutionary act that a black father would buy a doll for a little boy. But, it's so funny because I was listening to this podcast. I mentioned this yesterday. I was listening to this Super Soul Sunday podcast with Oprah Winfrey and the guy who wrote that book, Chicken Soup for the Soul. I think that's what it's called. And in that podcast, And in fact, in the book that I'm writing now, I talk about how we all are given gifts. And for some of us, we find it difficult to land on that thing that we were called to do, that thing that God put us here to do. Some find it hard to find that gift because it's not a tangible gift. Like because you're not a writer, or because you're not a singer, or because you're not a dancer, or because whatever. Some people think that they weren't called to do anything, that they don't have. No, I think every single person created has a calling. And I personally believe that the world is off balance because we're all not doing what we were called to do. We would not have homelessness if people who were called to work in homelessness did that work. But there are people who were called to do homelessness that are working a job. Just a regular job. They're working over at the phone company. Simply because they're fearful. Somebody trying to call my phone. Somebody working a regular job simply because they're fearful to get started. They don't know where to begin with homelessness. There's somebody whoever that is being persistent. There are people who are working in the medical field as doctors that were not called to be a doctor, but they're a doctor because their parents wanted them to be a doctor. They're a doctor because there's a legacy in their family. Their mother's a doctor, their father's a doctor, their grandparents, but that's not what you were called to do. You were called to maybe start a nonprofit for little young girls who were raped or whatever. Like, we're all called to do different things. And I think that the world is off balance when we don't do the work that we were called to do. Everybody was not meant to be a singer. Everybody's not meant to be a singer. Your job is to be of service. And I've said this before, I believe that the reason these books are selling consistently, because my first book came out 5 years ago. Words Never Spoken came out 5 years ago. I believe that book is selling consistently because I answered the call. I answered the call. I'm not going to go into, well, I'll read that little piece. I think because I responded to the call. And I'll explain exactly what I mean by reading this piece. Let me read your comments too. Okay, thanks, Adrian. I'll look out for your address. What's up, Christopher? Shakika, get Christopher too. Christopher, what day did you say you were ordering the books? We're taking a list of all of the people that said they were ordering books. Thank you, Fatima. Yeah, I got more to say than the local news. Thank you, Zion. Thank you, Valerie. I'm going to be great at anything I do. That was I'm saying amen. Love Calvin. Da, da, da. I agree. What is your outlook on? Zion. What's my outlook on coming out as a trans person? I know quite a bit about trans now, the trans community now. But when I started in this community, when I came into this community, because I don't believe that this is a lifestyle, but when I came into this community, I really didn't understand it. And I used to think, thank God that's not my struggle. Whew, thank you, Jesus. I believe there's a second coming out. Because in most cases, well, I shouldn't say most because I haven't done a study on it. I don't know. But in a lot of cases, people usually don't transition until they're older. We do see cases now where children are saying, listen, mommy, I'm a little boy or I'm a little girl, right? But usually people transition as an adult. So you would have come out as a gay man or a gay woman first. So you didn't came to your family and friends and say, hey, I'm gay. I'm a gay man. And then all of a sudden you realize, well, no, you're not just gay. You're trans. You are of the other gender. So then you start making these changes to transition, these physical changes to transition, even though here you were always the opposite sex. But that's like a second coming out. So then you go back to your family and say, well, guess what, guys? Hey, guys, I know it's Thanksgiving, but listen, I'm really a woman. So it's like this second level to it, right? And I said this before, Zion, I don't think you were following me at this time, but literally like a few weeks ago, I just said, I personally do believe that a person can be born in the wrong body. Because like when you see, remember back in the day, people were called hermaphrodites when you were born with both, you know what I'm trying to say, both pieces. What is that called? Both genitalia. God, I couldn't think of the word. But they're not called hermaphrodites anymore. The new word, the politically correct word, is called intersex. So if a person can be on the outside born with two opposite organs, what makes you think that they're not, that it's not crisscross, just for layman terms, just to use layman terms? What makes you think that they couldn't be wired differently internally? It just makes sense, right? For to me, it does. So I do believe that there are people who are born in the wrong body. And the way that our language is that way is because I have a friend who's a trans woman. She was actually in my stage play, A Day in the Life. I talk about it in the first book. And that was how she referenced it. She used to say, you know, I believe, and even if you listen to the podcast that I did with T.S. Madison, she said something very similar. She said, I just knew I was, she said, I knew I wanted to be, she said, I wanted to be a woman. She said, I knew I wasn't just a gay boy. And so, yeah. So that's my answer to that. I think it's... Well, see, that's the thing that's interesting, Valerie. I thought it was going to be more difficult to tell my father. Well, by the time I told my father, that's in the second book. By the time I told my father, our relationship was so fractured, so damaged, that I didn't give a damn what he thought. Our relationship became damaged because of his second marriage, his marriage after my mom. I talk about that in the book, the first book. But what I will tell you is my father handled it a lot better than my mother did, and I would have never guessed that. I would have never guessed it. But you'll see the difference between the two when you read the books. Because in this book, I talk about how I came out to my mom and how she wasn't feeling it. And then in this book, I talk about with my dad. I'm just trying to catch up on your, and then I'm going to read this little piece that I was telling you about being called to tell this story. I don't even know who that was just trying to call me, but I sent in the voicemail. That would be a good podcast, Lisa, talking to someone who was formerly homeless. That would be a good conversation. And I think a lot of times gay people or trans people, because of what we've been told and conditioned to believe in this society, I think a lot of times gay people and trans people think that being gay or trans puts them on the wrong side with God. And I just don't believe that. I don't believe that being gay is a sin. We can argue, we can fight about it, but I just don't believe that it's a sin. I believe that we were all, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. If I even believe, here's the thing. I'm going to get to this in a second. I really do believe that, I believe in God. I believe in God. I fiercely believe in God. And I talk about it all the time about praying. But I'm a spiritual person, not a church person. I'm not a religious person. Because I've learned, and I'm writing this in the book that I'm writing now. It's called Book of Jewels. There's a chapter called Faith. I really do believe that religion has been manufactured so much by man that a lot of that has nothing to even do with God. So while I believe in God and I'm spiritual and I have a connection, I don't necessarily connect as much with religion. Those are two different, there's God here and then there's religion. And see, religion has everything to do with man. Spirituality has everything to do with God. So that's my short answer to that. Well, Valerie, I appreciate that. I thank you, too. I thank you for coming on here to talk shit with me from time to time and then to have some smart talk, too. I'm not going to tell a story, Fatima. I'm not going to tell a story. Well, yeah, Darren, and I think that what happens is so many of us have to come to terms with who we are. Like, why do you have to come to terms with being gay? You got to come to terms with it because society, religion have told you that you're not normal, that you have to come. Like, why do I have to come to terms with that? Sexuality is instinctive. That's whether you're straight, that's whether you're gay, that's whether you're bisexual. Sexuality is instinctive. It's how you're wired. It's not a choice. It's not a decision. I don't care what anybody says. It's not a choice. It's not a decision. It's a part of how you're made. It's a part of your DNA. I think yes, you have to have your own personal relationship with God. Come on, late 30s, Chantel. Chantel, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And I think that sometimes we suppress or repress feelings because we're not conditioned to think that it's normal to be with the same sex. Yeah, I believe it's how you're born. So I was just going to read like a small little piece just to kind of support what I was saying a moment ago. I believe that Kimberly Sams, hey girl, hey. I believe that the books are selling consistently because I responded to the call. It goes back to what I was saying a moment ago about how I believe we're all called to do certain work here on earth. But I don't think that, like some people were called to do hair. But you got people who are doing hair just because it's a quick way to make money. It's not really their passion. And so I think that because I responded to the call, the books sell consistently, and this is what I do full time. And I know other authors that have published books, and they work a day job. And that's not shade. That's just me saying to you, they're working a day job because they're not operating in their truth. They're not operating within their passion. Ain't nobody tell you to write no book. God didn't call you to write a book. You understand what I'm saying? So let me get to this part back here. If I can find it. I think this is it. Okay, yeah, I think this is it. Okay, this is it. Okay. This is from a chapter called Patterns in my first book, Words Never Spoken. I've always believed great things would happen for me, but I thought I could manipulate it. I was under the impression that I could connect the dots faster if I took bigger risks. However, I realized I made things more difficult than they had to be because of poor choices I made. I thought I had to choose between being an artist or working a 9-to-5. With solitude came many epiphanal moments. The debut show, my stage play, sold out and I got lost in the hype. This is when I was 26 years old. I got caught up in the shine. I forgot I had been chosen by God to tell a story, to spread a message of hope and awareness that he could have chosen anyone to tell. I forgot his instructions. So he took it all away, and I struggled financially because of it. It became clear to me why the show hadn't gone on tour. And it wasn't because Tyler Perry didn't help. Yes, I met with a national promoter who agreed to take the show on the road, but without warning, he disappeared because God had more lessons for me to learn. I believe that everything happens for a reason in the spiritual realm and in the physical realm. In the physical realm, right here on earth, in the physical realm, the show didn't tour because the promoter didn't follow through with his promise because he was afraid to touch a gay play. But in the spiritual realm, God knew I wasn't ready for the success. Thus, he set things in motion that would prevent the promoter, right here in the physical realm, from following through with the national tour. Everything that I went through was a part of the process Tyler Perry spoke of. I finally got it. Everything that happened to me had happened for my greatest good, even when I was unable to see how at first. All the things that I feared manifested in my life, including dating men who were HIV positive. I was afraid I would fall behind in my car payment, so I did. I was scared I would be late paying the rent, and I was. I never feared becoming HIV positive, thus I've remained HIV negative. Excuse me. So it was clear that my thoughts were creating my destiny. So I believe that everything that you think about, it comes to you. And so just to elaborate a little bit on this, I think that what happens is I ended up selling everything because this is when I was 26 years old. I wrote and produced a stage play that sold out. But at 26 years old, you know how cocky you can be at 26. I was 26 years old and this play sold out. Like it was a line of people trying to get into this play. Well, you know, my black ass thought it was all about me. Oh shit, I'm the shit. Yeah, I sold out this show. You know what I'm saying? So it became that. And so I lost focus of what God was trying to do with my work. And so because I lost focus and I thought it was all about me, he had to strip me of all of those things. That's why my ass ended up on food stamps. That's why my car ended up getting repossessed. That's why I ended up losing my place and had to move in with my friend Angela. That's why my bank account was overdrawn $660. Like there were certain things that were put in motion to humble me. And so now, at 35 years old, when I first wrote this book and published it, I realized through the process of writing this book that I lost everything that I had because God was trying to put me in a position to give it all back. But the only way that he would give it all back is if I was obedient. And being obedient meant responding to the call. There was a point when I was living with my friend Angela, and I talk about it in here. I was living with my friend Angela. Didn't have a job, didn't have a car. I was just existing. And there was a whisper in my spirit. I talk about this in this book. I'm not going to read it because I know Fatima is trying to read it and some other people. There was a whisper in my spirit. And I believe that your conscience is your direct connection to God. Not any pastor, not any church. Your conscience is your direct connection to God. God is always speaking. We're not always listening. That's a quote in this book. God is always speaking. We're not always listening. And so God had said to me, he had said, and it wasn't like a voice like, hey, what's up? It wasn't like that. It was my instincts telling me, you need to move to LA. I was like, bitch, I ain't moving to no LA. Why would I move to LA? I'm having a difficult time in Atlanta. I'm having a difficult time in Atlanta. Why would I move to LA? I'm staying with my friend Angela in Atlanta. I don't know anybody in LA. Why would I move to LA? But God was trying to get me to LA so I could write this book. He was trying to get me to LA to write this book. And I would have never written this book if I had not moved away. And so what I mean when I say I responded to the call, I first ignored my instinct, my whisper, that tugging in my spirit, God speaking to me. I ignored it. I said, I ain't moving to LA. I don't know nobody out there. Bitch ain't got no job out there. This is me talking. Bitch ain't got no job out there. That's clear across the country. I ain't going over there. Because see, Atlanta felt safe for me. Atlanta felt safe. It was what I knew. And that's just how some of you stay in relationships, because they feel safe. They feel comfortable. And you don't know what's on the outside of that. Where you at, Kyra? I'm speaking to Kyra now. I'm speaking to Cornelia. Where's Cornelia? Is she in here? And I'm only calling your names out because we've talked openly in here. Yes, you inboxed me, but we talked openly in here about it. I'm speaking to you. Sometimes you stay in a relationship or a comfortable position. You stay at your job for 25 years knowing you wanted to leave year 5. Knowing you wanted to leave year 5. You get one life. You only get one life. You only get one life. Why waste it away? So God said, I need you to move to LA. So I ignored it. It was in December. It was December of 2009. It was December 2009. God said, I need you to move to LA. I said, child, I ain't going to no LA. February 2010. 2 months later, the same tugging in my spirit, the same tugging. I need you to be in LA. I need you to be in LA. That's what he said. Listen to me. Have you ever been awakened in the middle of the night and you don't know why the fuck you wide awake? You just wake up. You didn't hear anything. Nothing fell down. You didn't have to get up to pee or take a shit. You just woke up. I personally believe, and I say this in here, that God is trying to get your attention. When you wake up like that, it is your responsibility. It's your responsibility to say, God, what is it that you're trying to tell me? What is it that you're trying to tell me? That's what I'd learned to do. I didn't always know to do that. I've been waking up like that in the middle of the night for as long as I can remember. And I would just be like, what the fuck I'm up for? I'm telling you, it happened when I was dating Carrington in the first book. And it was God, the universe, trying to tell me, you need to leave that relationship. You're not happy and you're not making him happy. You need to leave. And I will never forget, this was one of the first times, if not the first time, that when I woke up in the morning like that, I said, God, what is it that you want me to know? And you know what he said to me? Because I woke up, it was like, I would wake up around the 4 o'clock hour, 4 o'clock a.m. And one morning I woke up and I was like, why am I up? And I said, shit, let me go on back to sleep. And I went on back to sleep. Well, 2 days later, I woke up around the same time. And I said, God, what is it that you want me to know? And you know what he said? Leela and all of the new people that are in here, I like a pregnant pause. You want to know what he said? I'm going to tell you in a second. Let me get a bite. I'm going to tell you what he said. Give me a moment. I like to leave you hanging with bated breath, right? Because this is going to fuck somebody up. He said to me, he said, you need to leave him. You need to leave him. Because you're only staying with him because you're afraid you can't make it without him. Because remember, I wasn't working. When I was dealing with Carrington, I was not working. Carrington is and was a dentist at the time. So I was afraid that if I left him, I wouldn't be able to survive financially. I need you to leave him, is what God told me at 4 o'clock in the morning. He said, you need to leave him. That's what he said. My point is, December 2009, the first whisper, you need to move to LA. I ignored it. February 2010, same whisper. April 25th, 2010, 2 months after that second whisper, I was living in LA. That's where the second book picks up. I was living in LA, April 25th. Let me tell you something. When he tells you to move, you need to move. Sometimes we stay on jobs because we're comfortable, because the money is good. You like your coworkers. It's close to home. You ain't got to drive that far. It's easy. You ain't really doing no work, but you get a nice check. You make all these excuses. And then suddenly, you ever been in a position where you lose that job? And you're like, well, damn, where did that come from? Because, see, the universe was trying to tell you... The universe was trying to tell you your unhappiness at that job is the universe trying to tell you that you need to be doing something else with your time on earth. You need to be doing something else with your purpose, with your energy, your effort, your passion. And when you don't, the universe will pull that carpet from beneath you. I can't tell you how many times I was working a job. Now, it's been years since I worked a job. I can't tell you how many times I worked a job and I did not like the job. Was unhappy every day going to work. On Sunday, I was bitching and complaining because the next day was Monday and I had to go to work. That those jobs were taken from me just like that. And they were taken because I didn't move fast enough. The universe had given me enough warning, had given me enough leeway, a lead time, but I didn't do it. It's the same way that your body tells you to stop eating so unhealthy. Your knees and shit aching, your joints, you got back pain, you eating all this dairy and shit, knowing you got all these bronchial problems going on, you got hypertension, and you still eating the shit. You eating crazy. Somebody eating some shit right now you ain't supposed to be eating. Raise your hand. Who eats something right now you ain't got no business eating? We waiting for you to fess up. Come on down and come on down to the altar and confess. You eating something right now you ain't got no business eating. Your body is warning you. Your body is telling you, listen, you've had enough. But see, you still eating pickled pig feet. You eating pork chops every Friday. You still smoking cigarettes. The doctor told you 2 years ago to stop smoking. You done had a TSI mini stroke. And you just still pushing. You just got to keep pushing. Just got to keep pushing. You just got to keep testing. Your body is speaking to you. So the same way, that was what was happening with me. And God was saying, you need to go to LA. And because I sold everything that I had and I trusted my instincts and I moved to LA, I believe that the reward, God is rewarding me with all of you. I think that he's rewarding me by he's taking care of me. Now, I'm not saying that everything is perfect because a bitch still over here. Listen, do you want full transparency? Do you want complete transparency? Because I'll go there with you. I'll give you complete transparency. Now, I may make this shit look easy. You know, I'm buying plane tickets and shit because I'm going out to LA February 10th for a signing. I'm ordering books and shit to sign and ship out to you guys. You know, I live here. I keep my water and shit going. I keep my utilities and shit going. But guess who's been riding around? Come on. If we at that point in our relationship that I can be honest? Are we at that point in our relationship that I can be honest? Because the kid has been driving around at least 3 months without no car insurance. It's a sacrifice. And I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not telling you not to pay your car insurance. That's not what I'm telling you. What I'm saying is when you're an entrepreneur, you make a decision. You make a decision. You make a choice. And it was either you going to order these books and pay your housing and shit and keep your shit going, or you're going to pay this car insurance. But see, that's why some of you won't follow your dreams, because you're afraid. And see, I can't be afraid. I have to move in faith. I have to move in faith. And I just pray every time I crank that card, dear God, get me to where I got to go and bring me back. I don't need no cop stopping me. And if I don't ever ship your books, he done got locked up. Amen? Because they don't play in Georgia. They don't play in Georgia. But here's the thing. I'm trusting that he's going to keep me going. Because I responded to the call. I responded to the call. And I think that's why he continues to enlarge my territory. Because I was obedient. I was obedient. I was obedient. You understand? I didn't know anybody when I moved to California. I didn't even know why I was moving to California. I didn't even know. My friends and family were like, well, why are you moving to California? Like, all of a sudden, I was just like, I'm moving to California. Now, mind you, it wasn't sudden for me because I just told you. December of 2009, I got that first whisper. January, I thought about it. And then, February, I got the second whisper. So I had been thinking about it, but I didn't tell my friends and family until probably about March. And by then, I had really started to put things in motion, right? And sometimes when people, let me give you two examples. You know how sometimes you'll see people say, or you'll hear people say, well, you can't tell everybody your dreams. You can't tell everybody your business because they ain't gonna do nothing but hate. Sometimes it's hate, but sometimes it's concern. Because there were people around me who kept saying, listen, I really think that you should stay here in Atlanta. Don't move. Don't move. Things are gonna get better here. Don't move. But I had to trust my instincts more. I had to trust my instincts more. Sometimes people will try to discourage you from doing something, whether it's starting a new business or moving across country to LA and not even have a job, not even know what you're going for. Sometimes people will discourage you from doing things like that because they love you, because they care about you, because they're trying to protect you. They don't want you to be hurt, or they don't want to see you make a wrong move, right? Now, sometimes it is because they want to hold you back because they're afraid that you're going to get too far ahead of them. I get all of that too. But you have to hear the voice of God louder than the voices in the world. You have to hear the voice of God louder than you hear your family and your friends, right? So when I moved to California, I had got my hair cut, so I got a little hair on this thing from my lips. I got to wipe this off. So when I moved to California, I know I'm missing some of your comments and your notes and stuff, but I get distracted if I keep reading them. So I'll come back and read them at the end. So when I moved to California, everything fell into place. From the flight, everything fell into place. Because I prayed and prayed, dear God, if this is what you're really telling me to do, because I needed to make sure that he was really telling me to do that, and that wasn't just some old hocus pocus shit. And I said, God, if this is really what you want me to do, I need you to make this a seamless process. I need you to line everything up so that I don't struggle and fight to do it. I want it to be just seamless. And that's what happened. I'm not going to tell you exactly what, but it's in the first book. It happened. And I believe now, 5 years later, oh no, what year is this? This 2018? 6 years later, I've released my third book. And it's happening because I responded to the call. Because I listened. I believe that God commissioned me to tell this story. And I've shared with you guys before, a lot of times I've been compared to Elin Harris. I see that in the Amazon reviews. And working on the fourth, yes, Trina. I look at the Amazon reviews and the reviews in iBooks and wherever else the reviews are. And I'm floored because it's like, how did this happen? Because when I was sitting in my place in LA, and mind you, when I first got to LA, I bounced around for 3 months. I didn't even have a place to stay. I was bouncing around for 3 months. And every time I would get nervous, I said, God, now I know you didn't bring me all the way out here for this foolishness. Seriously. But I ended up, I lost my train of thought. Did you see that? Let me take a swallow of this. I might come back. I believe that 6 years later, I've published 3 books. I'm releasing the 4th book because I paid attention to what he was saying. And because when I was living in LA, I was bouncing around from house to house, wondering, I'm typing at my laptop. This laptop that this thing is connected to, I was typing on this laptop. And I was just trying to figure out, because this is how the mind works. This is how the mind works, and how fear works. Fear will cripple you if you let it. I'm sitting there typing my first book. Well, what you typing this book for? Look, up here. What you typing this book for? You don't even have a publicist. You don't have a major publishing house behind you. Don't nobody know who you are. Fatima, you just asked me, when I was writing the book, I wasn't even really on, well, William Howard, you could have a stable place. I mean, I didn't even know you were here, though. I was trying to figure out, why are you writing this book? But that's the fear talking to me. Some of y'all church folk might say that's the devil. But it was like, well, why are you writing this book? You don't have. Listen. Put this book down. That's what it kept telling me. Why are you writing this? And every single time that my mind went there, every time I heard that voice, I said, you know what? I'm not going to listen to that. How are people going to find out about you? How are people going to find out about you? You don't have no publicist. How they going to find out about you? How are you going to find money to print these books? You may as well go ahead and put that down. Like, just leave that alone. That's what your mind will tell you when you have a business idea. You have an idea for a business. Before you even write the idea down, you already talking about, well, my credit is messed up. I'm not going to be able to get a business loan. Listen, all you have to do is take the first step. If you take the first step, for every step you take for yourself, God takes 3 for you. For every step you take for yourself, God takes 3 for you. So all you have to do is just keep moving. And so that's what I did. So every time that negative thought would come, I said, you know what? I'm going to figure it out. It's going to work itself out. I don't have to worry about that. I would think about that with my financial stuff back then. I mean, whatever it was, I just didn't allow it to control me. And so I just kept writing. And all I kept saying to myself is, Craig, your job right now is not to be concerned about a publicist or a publishing company or how people are going to find out about the books. Your job is to write the book. Just write the book. That's all you got to do. Just write the book. And it wasn't until I was writing the book that I realized that was what was happening every single time something great happened to me. When I wrote and produced that stage play when I was 26 years old, we didn't have all of the money to pay for the play. We were in goddamn rehearsal, and I didn't even have the money to rent the venue. I didn't even have the money to rent the stage play. I mean, to rent the theater. We were in rehearsal. Had the nerve to be, we rehearsed from 10 to 6. I need you to be here on time. And it's given, you don't even know how you're going to pay these people. Like, we were in full-on rehearsal. Shakika, is Kenny on the list today of people that were supposed to order the books today? Is Kenny on that list? Didn't even know how I was going to pay for the venue. We were in rehearsal Tuesday through Saturday. But see, when you're young, I was 26. When you're young like that, you're so bold and you're so daring. And when you get older, you start to lose that. And I challenge myself now. At 41 years old, I challenge myself all the time. Okay, tomorrow. I challenge myself all the time. Craig, don't you be fearful. If you were 26, what would you do? You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times when you get older, you become so safe. You get so safe. And you scared to take risks. Oh, I'm too old to be doing. Nope, I'm going to push myself. You got to do it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Just keep going. Just keep doing your thing. And that's it. That's it. And so all of that to say, I really do think that the only reason that these books are selling the way that they are is because I trusted him enough to move across the country. That's the only reason. Because that's what I was assigned to do. Now, if you know you were in medical school, knowing damn well you want to dance for Alvin Ailey or one of these other people, one of these other companies, why are you in medical school? You in medical school because that's what your parents wanted you to do? And for the parents that are trying to tell your children what they need to major in, cut that shit out. Cut it out. Cut it out. Every person has to choose their own path. Kenny, I understand that it's scary to take risks in your 20s, but I'm going to tell you like this. If you're not living on the edge of the earth, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. Simple as that. You have to challenge yourself. You have to push yourself. What's the next thing you're supposed to be doing? What's the next thing you're supposed to be doing? Hey, Carolina. Hey, oh, Carolina, don't come in here. There's no seating in here. Go on down to the portable. We got some space heaters down there. We had a few extra dollars that came in the past couple of days. So I went to Home Depot and got us a few space heaters. So go on down there. We got a few bottled waters down there, but it ain't on ice, so it's going to be room temperature. But go on down there and take Kenny with you because he's late. I did just answer his question, but take him down there with you. That's right. No, Carla, that's not in the third book because that's not my quote. That's not my quote. If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. That's not in the book because that's not my quote. I don't know where I got that from, but that's not mine. So that's not in there. But you can apply that to everything in your life. Not the thing about being on the edge, but the whole thing about fear. Again, think about the relationships that you stayed in because you were afraid to leave. Think about the friendships that you maintained because you were afraid. You didn't know how you were going to make it without your best friend or your close friends. You can't be afraid. You can't be afraid. You can't be afraid. You get one life. You only get one. That's it. So you got, why would you want to get to the end of your life and be like, oh, Carolina, did she say she wanted to order a book? Come on back here, girl. Come here, come here. We got some bottled waters in here. In fact, I think there's a seat right over here by Tiffany. Come here, Carolina. You wanted to order the book? You wanted all three of the books? Or did you want the first book? Hey, Althea, I spoke about you earlier in the video, but you'll have to go back and listen to it once I end this one. Carolina, where'd she go? Carolina? You got right, Heater. Tell Kenny to go on up out of here unless he's ready to order his books today. Then he can sit in here. We'll find him a seat. Where's Carolina? Oh, okay, Carolina. Now, what you say now about the books? You had said something about the books. Ain't that how you do? Carolina, did you need the information? Girl, she holding up the program now. You got your debit card ready? Look, debit with a K. Carolina, you got your debit card? So we can process this order. A Vegas taco place. Where in LA? Lisa. Now, I done spoke a little too heavy with y'all tonight, so now we're just going to play and cut up. I told Carolina she can come back. Is she getting her debit card? What is she doing? Where's she at? Now, she ain't ready to buy these books, then she going to have to go on down the hill. Shauna, she late. Oh, you ready to buy the books, Carolina? Girl, I know you said yes, you're here, but girl, did you need the information on how to get the books? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Belinda Ingram, before you can come in here, don't be typing no HGH. You need to say, hey, girl, hey. And then turn around and going down to the portable because there's no more seats in here. Belinda Ingram. Carolina, did you want all three of the books? Did you want the first book? Did you want the second book? Carolina, if you're buying the first book, just cash out $20. My ID is the writer. Okay, $20. Cash app it, the writer. Make sure there's a picture of me. Don't send it to the wrong person. Because, girl, I'm not sending the book if you send it to the wrong person. You're welcome, Bianca. And then, Carolina, inbox me your shipping address so I know where to send it. This is the last thing I do want to say about what we were just talking about. One of the most recent lessons that I've learned is you get processed to the next level. Like if you're going through a really tough time now, like if you're starting a business or you're going back to school and you're trying to juggle a lot because you may have kids, or whatever your challenge is, I have recently learned that the way to get to the next level, to advance to the next level, is to go through the turbulence with dignity and grace. You can't that spicy shit gets to the back of my trachea, back down my epiglottis. You can't be complaining and whining the entire way through. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's challenging. But you can't be squirming and complaining all of the way. You can't. Like, part of the universe or God moving you to the next phase is saying, okay, she ready to go. Okay, yeah, we sent her a lot of curveballs, but she sure didn't do a lot of complaining. She handled that. She ready. She can handle more. Let's take her to the next level. Like, you can't, and that's what I used to do. In my 20s, I'd be complaining and shit. Because, like, the rent would be due and I didn't know how to pay it. And, I would get overdraft fees and shit at the bank or whatever was going on. And I would just be thinking, like, why is this happening to me? I'm writing this play and I'm trying to, just because you think you're doing something amazing, and you are. But that doesn't mean that obstacles won't come. Even when you're doing great, even when you're doing God's work, you still gonna get tripped up. You're gonna fall over, you're gonna skin your knees. Get your ass back up. The main thing is you gotta keep your hand on the plow. You gotta keep going. So even when you fall down and your knees scraped up, keep your hand on that plow. Stand up and keep on going, keep pushing. But the thing is, you can't be complaining the whole way. You can't be like, oh God, why is this happening to me? Like, that's your moment to sit back and say, you know what, let me sit still. Okay, I don't have no money to go out to have drinks with my friends. I don't know how I'm gonna pay this light bill, but let me just go ahead and sit still and just process through it. Let me just go ahead and sit still. Just sit still. But if you complaining you ain't getting advanced to the next level. God can't move you to the next level if you fussing all of the time. You have to handle it with dignity and grace. That's a part of the lesson. That's one of the things that I've learned. So even now, when I have my challenges, I just told y'all what one of my challenges was, and I ain't saying it again. But even when there are moments where I got a lot of shit going on in my personal life financially, and I have shit going on in the business, because like I told you, I pay to do it's free for you to listen to the podcast, but I have to pay to make the podcast available to you on iTunes and SoundCloud and Spotify and all of those places. So I got the expenses from that. That's why he driving around without no car insurance. I got expenses from that. I'm printing 3 books. I just bought a plane ticket to go to LA for a signing. I got to be buying these plane tickets now. So even when I feel like my hands are tied, what I do not do now is sit and pine over it. I don't sit and complain and whine and, oh my God, and how am I supposed to do this? Like, you can't be so ready to give up. You can't be so ready to give up. And that's why I did that podcast this past Monday that Darren was talking about. It's called Passion, Fate, and Destiny, because we talk about what it takes to be an entrepreneur. You have to be made of a different kind of stuff. Some people are made for 9-to-5 jobs, and that's okay. But there are some of us that are made of a different kind of stuff. When you're made of a different kind of stuff, you know that you may not get a paycheck every week, every 2 weeks, once a month. Some people got to get that paycheck every week. They just can't. So even though I have challenges now, I don't stress over it. I say, you know what, God, you know what I need. God, you know what I need you to do. Now I'm going to go ahead and lay down and watch TV. Now I need you to figure this out. And I say it just like that. I need you to figure this out. Because I've done everything I know how to do. I've exhausted all of my possibilities. So did you know something that I didn't know? Oh, okay, I'm going to need you to go ahead and put it into motion. And that's what happens. Listen. That plane ticket that I just bought the other day for LA, I ain't had no money for no plane ticket. But remember, I told you I wrote that letter to the airline because on Christmas, my mother and I sat at the baggage claim for about an hour. waiting for our bags to come down. That voucher came yesterday. The same day that I was talking to the people in LA about scheduling the signing for February 10th. The voucher came the same day. That was what I used to buy that plane ticket. I had to put a couple dollars to it, but what I'm saying to you is you can't be stressing over shit. Whether it's your children, whether it's your siblings, because they're not helping you take care of your mama. They're not helping you take care of your sick brother or your sick sister. Whatever it is that's going on. Listen, if your children are off track, you can't be sitting there stressing. What good is it going to do if you're sitting there stressing over some grown people because they're not doing what you think they should be doing? All you got to do is do your part. Do your part and be done with it. And that's it. That's all you got to do. Because what I know is I wasn't put here to stress out and worry about shit that I can't control. I can't sit here and stress and worry about things that I can't control. That's not what he put me here to do. Why should I waste my time, energy, and effort worrying about shit I can't? What? Why should I be sitting here worrying about some car insurance? I ain't about to be worrying about no car insurance or no power bill. I ain't gonna do it. Now, in my 20s, I used to do that. In my 20s, I used to do, because see, you don't know. You don't know any better. In your 20s, you worry about every little thing that happened. You got to release that. You got to let it go. And see, some of y'all don't really know how to let shit go. You got to let it go. And on that note, I want you guys to have an amazing weekend. If you ordered the books, if you sent the money through the Cash App, be sure to inbox me your shipping address so that I know where to send your book or books. If you order one book, doesn't matter which one it is, send $20 to the writer. You'll see a picture of me. That's my Cash App ID. If you're ordering 2 books, doesn't matter which 2, send $36. If you're ordering 3 books, doesn't matter which 3, send $54. That makes them $18 each. You guys have an amazing weekend. Make sure your notifications are on. Make sure your notifications are on because I'm going to come on here over the weekend. I don't know what time. So you'll know what time. So you'll know that I'm on here. And make sure, listen. Get up out the bed and put them corn curls up. You're sitting in the bed eating corn curls. That's why you got them heavy ankles and shit now. Them heavy ankles and them tender knees. Your knees and shit tender. You trying to walk up the steps. You got all this inflammation on your knees and stuff and all this fluid on your knees. Excuse me, because you refuse to give up the chicken. You know, chicken causes a lot of inflammation. Causes a lot of inflammation. But you refuse to alter your diet. You refuse to alter your diet. You refuse to come up off them cigarettes. You coughing and shit, emphysema all in your throat and your lung. You just refuse to give it up. Just let it go. Let it go. Yes. Don't be afraid to let it go. Stop making these decisions. Oh, it's hard. Oh, it's so hard. Yeah, it's hard, but so is chemotherapy. Huh? Which one is harder? Giving up the cigarettes or chemotherapy? Now, which one you gonna choose? Alex, I'm gonna take giving up cigarettes for $1,000. Put the cigarettes down. I'm coughing from a little spicy kale. Y'all coughing like that from cigarettes. I'm talking to the Marlboro Light smokers, the Newport smokers, the Cools, the Pall Malls, the Benson and Hedges children. And what's the little generic brand? Because I know some of y'all smoking them generic brands now because cigarettes, they have just lost their goddamn mind. Cigarettes are what, like $14 or $15 a pack now? Shit. I wish I would. Y'all, some of y'all around here borrowing money. Look, I said I was getting off here. Some of y'all around here borrowing. Look, some of y'all that left the building. There's a few extra seats in here. Some of the children left early. Some of y'all, some of y'all around here borrowing money so you can buy cigarettes. Now, you know that's a damn shame. If you can't afford to buy cigarettes, you really don't need to be smoking them. Some of y'all around here borrowing cigarettes, borrowing money, and borrowing cigarettes. Now cut that out. Now you know you bad. Doral, that's a brand. Hey Fabian, where you been? Hey Kendra, I would say start with Words Never Spoken first because that's the very first book that I wrote. One thing for certain, two things for sure, picks up where Words Never Spoken leaves off. So that's a continuation. So much to say a book of quotes is completely separate. It's a book of quotes. So there are relationship quotes, encouragement quotes, and wisdom quotes. But yeah, some of y'all out here borrowing money just to buy a cigarette. Y'all cut that out. If you ain't got $1,800 to buy a carton of cigarettes, $1,800. Yeah, Maverick. That's another generic brand of cigarettes. Listen, that's just too. Whatever it is, $9, $10. That is too much for some cigarettes to be breathing in smoke. You paying to kill yourself? That's essentially what you're doing. You're paying to kill yourself. You ever look down on a drug addict, like somebody that uses coke or what's the other, crack? You ever look down on somebody like a child? That don't make no sense. I'm talking to the smokers now. Have you ever looked at somebody and said, "Child, that don't make no sense. She looks terrible," and then you like this? Child, that don't make no sense. She over there using that cocaine. She just killing herself. Well, what you think you doing? There is no lesser of the two evils. One just works faster. That's a half a gallon of gas, okay? $10 for some cigarettes. You sitting there holding your Newport. Talking about, oh, child, he looks horrible. Oh, he losing his teeth. Well, what you think gonna happen when you keep smoking on them Newports? Them Marlboros. The vase calling the vase Ming. That's what that is. The pot calling the kettle black. But I always say the vase calling the vase Ming. Smoking is killing you too. You're going to lose your teeth with cigarettes too. You might even lose your voice box. You see the people walking around talking like it. Like, why would you want to do that to yourself? Lungs all black. Let me tell you, I think I told y'all this story before. This was before my mother stopped smoking. Well, she ain't had no choice because after this last little episode, I flew home. See, that's the other thing. I'd be having to do random shit like that, jumping on a plane and go up there to see about her. Just before she moved down here, but she back up there now. After she had that last episode, I jumped on that plane and went up there and let me tell you something. The cigarettes are done. You done with cigarettes. That's what I told my mother. You are done with cigarettes. I said, I'm taking them. I don't want to hear nothing else about them. I said, I'm even going to take the ones from your stash. Because she had a stash in the closet. I said, I'm taking that. And I looked at my aunt and my sister and whoever else was in the room. And I said, I don't want to hear about none of y'all going to buy her no cigarettes. And I mean that. Because it's going to be a problem. But she stopped smoking. And I don't necessarily take credit for her quitting. She probably quit because she was scared. You know what I'm saying? She had a health scare. Health scare. And so she probably made the decision for herself. But whether she had or not, I was done with it. You done with these cigarettes. But I had come down here one time. This before I moved back to Atlanta. And I had just moved back from California and I was down here visiting. I was about to start promoting my first book. And I was staying at my friend Angela's house. And I had been at home with my mother, smoking shit all in my suitcase, smelling like cigarettes and shit because my clothes were at my mother's house. And I came down here and I had my clothes in my luggage at my friend Angela's house. And she walked by the room and she was like, Craig, you smoke? I'm like, girl, now you know me. All these years, you know damn well I don't smoke. She said, well, I smell cigarettes. So I ended up, it was coming from, the smell was emitting from my luggage and my clothes because the clothes were at my mother's house. That's how, oh my God, that's how horrible it was. I had to wash everything in my suitcase. It was a mess. But anyway, get up out of the bed. Get up out of the bed. Brush your teeth. Floss them. If you're coming along with me for the oil pulling journey, make sure you get your organic, cold pressed virgin coconut oil. Take a little teaspoon of that, put it in your mouth, swish it around, swish it all between your teeth. And then it helps with whitening your teeth, but more importantly, it pulls the toxins from your body and it prevents cavities. And then spit that out. If you're already in the bed, get up. Listen, don't say nothing to me when you got 14 teeth in your mouth. Because you want to eat corn curls and Snicker bars and Twix and shit. And squirrel nuts. What y'all know about squirrel nuts? And Chico sticks and things. You want to eat all this stuff and you got crumbs and shit all in the bed. Get up and brush your teeth and stop being lazy. In fact, go on and change them sheets, because I know them crumbs are uncomfortable up under your elbows and stuff. You in there trying to watch. Ooh, some of y'all so trifling. And y'all got the nerve to be sitting on here judging other people, scrolling through Facebook, judging other people. This y'all going through your Facebook, reading folk, and you sitting there in a pool of crumbs. Get down on your knees, say your prayers. Get down on your knees and say your prayers. And listen, you ain't ever got to go to church, but you do have to have a connection with the source. Yes. Thank you, Annette. Brush your teeth, floss your teeth. And have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. I don't care what's going on in your life right now. I don't care what it is. Don't allow yourself to even think about it this weekend. Because if you've already done everything that you could do, then there's nothing else you can do. You have to sit still and wait for the answer to be revealed. Because whatever the case, whatever happens is what's needed to happen to move you to the next point. So even if it means you still ain't paid your rent for January, and it's already, what's today's date, the 11th or something, and you get nervous and shit because you got the late fee, listen, if you're supposed to be able to pay the rent, the funds will become available some way, somehow. You have to trust that anything can happen. If the funds don't, if the funds don't become available, I'm telling you, that kale is not a game. If the funds don't become available and you end up having to move out, then trust that that's what's supposed to happen. You're already being prepared. If your car payment is due and you know you late, trust that that's what's supposed to happen. You'll survive. You will survive. Have a great weekend. Turn on your notifications, because I'm popping in here sometime over the weekend to see what y'all doing. Have a good night.